We're not politically correct, we just have common sense.
Unscripted, unfiltered, unfaltering. Show of Support's Hunt for Heroes offers tributes and true stories of remarkable courage.
That these terrorists could come in your bedroom and kill you, your wife, and your kids. And that's what these men are fighting to protect us from, these murdering idiots. And they're taking them out so that we don't have to deal with them over here.
Show of Support started it all just after the shock and awe bound the nation together. Now, years of footage portraying wounded veterans, deer stands, and standing ovations. Hunt for Heroes, that started as one man's way to say thanks, is now a series that many say is way overdue.
This is something I'll never forget for the rest of my life.
It's just a raw emotion.
It's been like a dream. It really has.
We still have 40,000 injured troops. It's going to take a while to get around all of them, but there's no quitting. It'll never stop as long as I'm breathing.
That's a good deer.
Yes, sir.
Good job, brother.
Who got this one?
I did.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's great.
Man.
Well, my wife is actually the one that researched hunts for wounded veterans, and she signed me up. She did all the legwork, basically. I've kind of, been in my own little hole for a couple years now, so she's been trying to get me out and do more. So she signed me up, and I just got a phone call from Terry one day saying, "Hi, we're with Show of Support, and we'd like to have you come to Texas to hunt whitetail deer." I live in the state of Montana where I can hunt anything I want, and I didn't do it. I didn't do it for years because it just had no drive or anything to do anything besides do nothing.
Deer season in West Texas is celebrated in many ways, in many remote hunting camps. For United States Marine Trevor Arms, his first whitetail buck means a lot, and it's a hunt that started in a most unlikely way.
I don't know many people in the state of Texas, but I think I've met, a quarter of them already. I mean, just an overwhelming amount of people. I was with about 10 other guys that flew in with me, and we saw the flag. We could see them kind of through the little glass windows, and I turned to a guy and I said, is that for us? And he goes, "No, there's an Army unit returning back from overseas, and it's probably their welcome home." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense, So we kind of get together in a group and walk into that room, and they start talking to us and telling us, it was kind of obvious then that we had to go on that escalator and everybody was sitting right there. And I'm just like, oh God, this is not going to be anything I expected. He's like, "I guess what did we get ourselves into, type of deal." To have that many people there and announce your name and clapping and shaking your hands, and I guess if that's my first experience of coming to Texas, it was a really good one. I could say wow 100 million times since I've been here, but just one of those taken back and having to wave, and everybody else waving at you, and it's just a really good feeling. I guess when I have a bad day, I'm gonna look back and look at that and say, well, this is why I did that. This is why it's worth it.
The annual Show of Support banquet throws everybody off balance, and Trevor is called up on the stage for an armload of gifts and a brand new rifle.
That's just another one of those wow moments. We went past one more town and then through a school, and we came up to the Rocking Chair Ranch. All of us have been hurt, all of us spent the time in the hospitals, all of us, we all have one thing very in common, besides combat. That's the struggles afterwards.
The long swirling dust cloud follows the motorcade of heroes to the Rocking Chair Ranch. It's here where they'll spend the next few days, far from the cheering crowds of the West Texas people who haven't forgotten the true meaning of patriotism and gratitude.
We're going to have a blast. There's going to be a lot of animals to look at. Each ranch we're hunting, and we're hunting a total of 6 different ranches with 6 different landowners with 6 different management schemes in place.
Terry Johnson will entertain 25 injured soldiers on this hunt. And before it's all said and done, 25 whitetail bucks will hit the ground and lift the spirits of Terry's heroes. Trevor still finds it hard to comprehend all of this as his arms grow heavy with hunting gear.
We got an Otis gun cleaning kit for our weapon, Nikon optics. I mean, just a handful of things I can't even name off the top of my head. I got a very nice knife, some shirts. I mean, just basically anything you need to hunt in Texas, I think we pretty much were outfitted with it.
Trevor Arms, Matthew Bessler, Jamie Kovas, Bart Crow, Luke and DePaz.
It's all starting to make sense to Trevor and the rest of the heroes here. The magnitude of Terry Johnson's gesture and his solid commitment to show of support. Finally, the groups split up and Trevor finds his hunting guide, San Angelo police officer Tracy Fincher.
What are the distances normally?
Where we're going to be, it's about 100 yards.
100 yards?
Yeah. Not bad at all. Be shooting a nice blind, octagon blind, about 100-yard shot.
Well, they assigned us to certain ranches with certain guides for a hunt. And I was assigned to the Rockin' Chair Ranch, and my guide was Tracy. And he's a great guide. He's got a lot of passion for hunting.
You about ready?
I'm all set.
Let's go.
All right, let's go.
It's 3 p.m. on Friday afternoon. Trevor and Tracy head off for a deep saddle up in the hills in the Concho Valley. Trevor lost count how many days it's been since he landed in Midland, Texas. It's been non-stop tours, banquets, gifts, and gratitude. Tracy's been a guide for these hunts since the show of support started. He takes off work at the police department for this hunt, and it's the highlight of the season for him.
How many whitetail have you killed in your life?
Oh, probably 3 does.
Big 3 does, all right.
Yeah, I shot a 6x7 mule deer last year in Montana.
In Montana?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're going to change that doe count, hopefully.
My wife goes, "You really got to go all the way to Texas to shoot a whitetail?" I said, "I can't kill anything here."
It seems United States Marine Trevor Arms is in good company. A hot doe is bringing every mature buck in the country to this spot. A show of support hunt for heroes continues. Stay with us. If you know of an American warrior longing for a truly unforgettable hunting experience, or for more information on becoming part of Show of Support's Hunt for Heroes, go to our website, showofsupport.org. The Rocking Chair Ranch, the week before Thanksgiving, the peak of the rut for this part of Texas. It's a combination that can create an unscripted, unexpected set of circumstances that can impress even a United States Marine.
Let's get you situated. All right. And then I'll go park the truck and come back in a few minutes, okay?
Yep. Yeah, I was one of the first ones to actually get to go out and hunt. And we got out there, and as soon as we pulled up, there was already deer. I'm gonna go park the truck.
One thing about a place with no trees, the wind has nothing to stop it. Mesquite trees aren't much more than glorified bushes. So out in this open oil field pipeline right-of-way, the wind has a way of always being in charge. Tracy Fincher is guiding Marine Corporal Trevor Arms, who carries the memory of a very bad day back in 2005.
I did 3 total combat deployments. I was hit by an IED on my 7-ton that I was in the turret of and took shrapnel to the back of my head, which caused cellulitis, which is a bad infection, and I was sent home. It was pretty bad. We had just invaded the city and there wasn't much stability, so it was pretty much chaos while we were there. We saw a lot of really bad things happen, you know, hit with a car bomb. One of my convoys, not my truck specifically, but there was about 10 total casualties in that event. One of them being a good friend of mine.
The wind has everything spooky, and the rut takes up where the wind left off. The deer herd is plenty stirred up, a situation where anything can come from anywhere. That young buck is locked on something in the mesquites. For good reason. It's a good 8-pointer for someone who's never killed a whitetail buck. That's the kind of deer that can get you excited. Trevor looks up to Tracy for some sort of thumbs up, but Tracy knows that buck is too young.
Nice 8-point came walking out, and Tracy told me to just sit there and wait for a little bit and see. It wasn't gonna get dark for about an hour or so. So we watched him, and out of the corner of my eye, I caught something coming out of the brush to my right, and without even looking through my binoculars, I could tell it was a very nice deer.
Once again, Trevor's waiting for something from Tracy. But once again, they wait. The longer they wait, Trevor's nerves are battered again as he watches the mature 8-point buck casually head for the brush, taking with him Trevor's hope for the afternoon hunt. Then, almost looking into the sun, Trevor and Tracy catch movement out in the open. This is a nice buck, and one that would look good in the crosshairs and on the cabin wall.
He started coming out, and I told Tracy to look at him, and Tracy goes, "Yeah, it's a nice deer."
He should work around the brush and he'll probably come back up. That 8-point's gonna leave out if he comes back up.
As they watch this great buck move in, the mature 8-pointer from earlier shows back up to the left, intimidating this new arrival. For Trevor, this is more than a deer hunt. It's a roller coaster of emotion, and as the buck he was meant to kill is chased off, Trevor worries that this may be it.
I think he ran him into the state of New Mexico because he didn't come back that night.
Trevor, that about does it for tonight. All right. That nice deer came in, but that old 8-point run him off. We'll come back in the morning and see if we can get that good one. All right, that's all I can do. All right.
It's the range of emotion every deer hunter has felt. The excitement that turns to despair. Day that turns to night. It'll be a long night back in Camp Freedom. The best afternoon of whitetail bucks Trevor has ever lived through.
Congratulations, guy. That's real nice.
It makes it extra hard when Trevor sees that someone else has taken a great buck.
Trevor all of a sudden says, "There's a nice one." And I look over in the brushwood, and sure enough, here comes a sure enough shooter. And boy, he's heading this way, and that 8-point sees him, wheels, goes right after him, runs him all the way back over there y'all's direction. About 10 minutes later, y'all shot. We thought, Trevor says, "I hope they didn't shoot my deer."
If I had to, I would go back and kill that 8-point.
But that ain't him. That's why he said that ain't him. That ain't the one that ran off from us, you know.
They would have been fighting.
Oh yeah. Good night.
The next morning, and a buck that rattles Trevor's cage. When show of support's Hunt for Heroes continues. Stay with us.
You ready, buddy?
I'm all set.
Let's go.
All righty. As soon as we got here, I went out. I was one of the first guys to go hunting. Had a nice deer come in, and then another deer ran my nice deer off. So, you know, me and Tracy, my guide, he's like, we're coming back here in the morning. We're going to get a deer. I was like, all right.
It's his second day of hunting here on the Rocking Chair Ranch in West Texas. Trevor Arms didn't get much sleep last night, replaying the image of a big buck he was about to find in his crosshairs. Guide Tracy Fincher figures they should go back to the same ground blind, hoping the same buck will return.
This morning, I mean, same deal. We were driving out and saw some deer on the way out, and got out there, and it was still fairly dark, and I was looking through my binoculars and seen a nice buck running past, and it's still, you know, pretty dark out, so we waited around, and sure enough, he was chasing a bunch of does around where we were at, and talked to Tracy a little bit, you know, what he thought, and he thought it was a nice deer, and I agreed with him. It wasn't the same deer as the night before, but I mean, you can't be too picky. And
as quick as he appears, he's gone. But Tracy knows he'll be back.
When the sun finally came up and we got a chance to look at that deer that I had noticed come in before sun up, Tracy tapped me on the shoulder and, you know, told me that that probably wasn't the same deer we'd been seeing the night before. And I had a chance to look at him, you know, a real good chance to look at him. You know, I agreed with him, and he said, you know, that's a nice deer still. And I said, yeah, I mean, that's what I came to Texas for, unique trophy, you know, not something, you know, not a typical deer. You know, we talked about it for a little bit, and, you know, he said, do you want to take him? And I said, yeah, you know, I didn't have any problems with it. He's mingled in with a bunch of does and some smaller bucks were behind him. So I kind of was playing the waiting game, waiting for him to come out in the open, and so I get a clear shot. And all that was going through my head was he was chasing does all day, so I didn't want him to break off and take off into the bushes with a, you know, chasing a doe. From my experience from the evening before, I just wasn't going to let this one, you know, get away.
You'd think a guy from Montana who's taken several big mule deer bucks in his life would be stone cold calm at this point. But watching a whitetail buck and waiting for a clear shot is nerve-wracking for Trevor, even though they've got all day. Tracy knows that at this stage of the rut, anything can happen. So
he mingled around for about a minute or two with them, and finally kind of broke off by himself, and the other deer kind of moved out of the way. He was on a, you know, brisk walk, and I thought, now or never.
Good night in the morning. Scared the thunder out of me. We can see if we can find some blood real quick, and we'll let him sit a few minutes before we go out there.
All right.
All right.
Then Tracy and I got out into the blind, and we walked over to where we thought we'd got him at. And sure enough, we'd found a blood trail. Looked like a pretty good shot from what we could see.
Saturday morning never felt so good as it does in late November in Texas. And of course, a stain in the dirt. Then another and another makes it an even better morning.
And I was kind of to the left of Tracy, so I was looking over here, and he was looking the other way, and he goes,
oh, guess what?
I was very excited. I mean, it's my first whitetail buck. I just wanted to run up and look at it.
Character.
Very.
Look here.
Got his kid.
It was Trevor's wife who talked him in to signing up for this hunt. And at this moment, after several days of being treated like a hero,
Nice buck.
he now feels like he's on top of the world. Hunting can be several things. It can be thrilling, and it can also be therapy for the soul.
Scrapping, and he broke off his G3 on this side.
The Marine Corps paid me to do what I did. When I returned home, I didn't, I hear it 100 times, I did my job. That's what I signed up to do. No one told me I had to go do what I was doing. I wanted to do what I was doing. I had my own reasons for doing. I love this country, that's why I did it. I didn't do it because I thought, well, maybe I'll get hurt and there'll be some great benefit, because there's definitely a very big downside to having what we have. But, these people that care that much, that shows you, that makes it a little bit more worth it. We've all seen the protests and the people that don't care have a different view on what we all see as freedom and, our rights and why we have them. But these people, to me, understand the bigger picture.
Gathered here back at camp on the Rocking Chair Ranch, 25 American heroes are lost in the unexplainable excitement of a Saturday morning in deer season. The chill in the air, the warm sunshine, and the closeness of those who shared the nightmare of war. These are the things that Terry Johnson knew he wanted these men to feel. And as the day goes on, there will be more heroes return with more bucks. But for now, in his mind, Trevor Arms is redecorating his living room back in Montana for a rocking chair whitetail buck.
This experience has definitely opened my eyes to bigger things. It's not all bad, there's hope.
If you know of an American warrior longing for a truly unforgettable hunting experience, or for more information on becoming part of Show of Support's Hunt for Heroes, go to our website, showofsupport.org.